Greetings, travelers, and welcome to the first Tempo Wild Meta Snapshot for Voyage to the Sunken City. Wild has been a whirlwind of change ever since the 23.0 patch that launched the Year of the Hydra, with massive shifts that came before the new expansion was even released. The patch introduced nerf revisions for cards leaving Standard from the Year of the Phoenix, but only one of those buffs mattered. Kil'Thaw Sunstrider was brought back to his original form, allowing every third spell cast in a turn to cost 0 mana with him in play. The reversion of Kil'Thas sparked a renaissance for Druid, with both OTK combo and Kazakhstan ramp Kil'Thas Druid variants quickly rising up to dominate the format. Now, if the Kil'Thas buff was the only big change, we'd all just be bowing down to our new Druid overlords, but there were more surprises in store with Voyage to the Sunken City. The new expansion introduced a wave of powerful new cards that have inspired a few new archetypes and updated existing ones, but Switcheroo was the card that made the biggest mark. In particular, the combo between Switcheroo, Stone Tusk Boar, and the Darkness made it possible to orchestrate turn 4 kills with frightening consistency. Switcheroo Priest quickly rose to the top of the meta, joining Kil'Thas Druid to establish a new era of combo supremacy. A few non-combo decks were able to weather the storm, such as the new Swordfish Aggro Rogue and Mecha Shark Mech Mage, as well as teched out older decks like Even Warlock, Freeze Shaman, and Secret Hunter, but most of the other existing decks of the Onyxia's Lair meta faded into obscurity. Or at least they would have if not for this Tuesday's latest balance patch. The patch introduced wild-relevant nerfs to Kil'Thas, Kazakhstan, and Raid the Docks, and most shockingly, the ban of Switcheroo, the fastest any card has been banned in Wild to date. With these changes, the current Wild meta looks nothing like it did after the release of Voyage to the Sunken City, and with changes to Kazakhstan and Raid the Docks, along with remaining nerf revisions for cards like Crab Rider, as well as an entire new expansion to explore, we can't just go back to the way things were before. So what can we expect the meta to look like moving forward? As of this writing, the nerfs are just now going into effect, so it's hard to say with certainty, but we have a few frontrunners worth keeping an eye on. In Tier 1, we have a few existing decks that weathered the storm of Kil'Thas and Switcheroo, like Innerfire Priest, Even Warlock, and Freeze Shaman, and they're being joined by the newcomer of Swordfish Aggro Rogue. These decks kept a following during Wild's latest combo winter, though they'll need to pivot away from combo disruption if they want to stay on top. In Tier 2, we have other holdouts from Onyxia's Lair, such as Mechathune Warlock, Questline Hunter, Beast Druid, and Quest Rogue, that are all in good shape to come back out to play, though their performance is likely to depend on how the rest of the meta settles out. The new Mech Mage also joins them in Tier 2, having an explosive style of mana-cheating gameplay that reminds us a little too much of the heyday of Sorcerer's Apprentice. Let's also talk about the old standby decks hit hardest by the nerfs, namely Pirate Warrior and Dragon Ramp Druid. After yet another nerf to Raid the Docks, and considering that the meta had become hostile to pirates at the end of Onyxia's Lair, Pirate Warrior may finally be knocked out of the top meta contention in Voyage to the Sunken City. As for Ramp Druid, the nerfs to both Kil'Thas and Kazakhstan are sending Druid players back to the drawing board. Other ramped Druid archetypes like Linecracker Druid and Cthulhu Druid may return to fill the void, but without Kazakhstan at the top of the curve, it's hard to see them gaining much of a foothold. Accordingly, we're placing both Pirate Warrior and Linecracker Druid at a tentative Tier 3, but it's still possible for these decks to mount a comeback as the meta develops. Since this report comes right on the heels of a balance change following a brand new expansion, these evaluations are far from set in stone. Will the Wild meta flourish with variety, or is there another dominant deck just waiting in the wings? We're looking forward to seeing how the Wild meta develops in the weeks to come. In the meantime, be sure to check out the full report on our website for all of the details, and as always, thank you for watching.